Hello, hello, hello. This is Frantz Kantor, cartoonist, illustrator, toon talker, and I am doing a caricature. This is me, but I'm doing a caricature day. Just let me just pick things up. Everything fell over. We've just moved the desk, so I had to move the everything around: the cameras, tripods, lights, the whole works. So hopefully it is now stable and it's not going to drift away. It's been a hassle, I promise you. I'm here at the Australian Cartoon Museum, stuck in the corner. I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm one of the people who got the Cartoon Museum up and running.
Yeah.
And here we are in downtown Docklands.
Yeah.
Stuck in the corner.
We are.
We've got a new position in the museum, and it's we can't find anything, and everything's terrible.
Well, it's the bookend. We're in the bookend. We're one of the bookends here.
Yes.
So today I thought we might just do one of my biggest heroes in my life, and he is really, really influential to a lot of cartoonists and illustrators and caricaturists, and his name is Jack Davis. So let's have a look at Jack Davis. Oh, this is the Jack Davis book. Yeah.
That's the EC Horror.
EC Horror.
He did TV covers. He did
TV guide covers, time covers, and
baseball cards.
Baseball cards.
He did Mad Magazine.
Mad Magazine.
And he did Humbug.
Humbug.
And that looks like Playboy.
And he did a bit of Playboy as well.
Yeah, but look at his feet and the shoes.
Yes.
He invented those shoes, those goofy shoes. Everybody copied him.
Goofy shoes.
Well,
they're kind of like bum shoes, like, you know, these worn-out shoes that bums wear or hobos wear.
No, but they don't have the.
They had a lot of.
They look like crocodiles, don't they?
They had a lot of character.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it as we go along.
Okay.
This is a thumbnail that I've done of Jack, and I've taken the liberty to transpose it up. Now, there's very few pictures of Jack, unfortunately.
And you're using an out-of-focus picture.
And we're using this lovely out-of-focus picture here of Jack, and you can see in the background he's done himself there. Jack doing a drawing. This is his iconic style of his big feet. I wish we were doing his feet.
His feet are bigger than the feet of the chair he's sitting on.
There's another Jack. He does. He's really, really cool. He does really tight caricatures, and they're very, very loose and fast.
He's a very fast
as well.
worker.
Apparently, yes, but we'll talk more about his style in a second. So he's born in 1924 in Atlanta, Georgia, and died in 2016. And he was a long-time contributor to Mad Magazine, also provided numerous illustrations for Playboy, Tales from the Crypt, Famous Monsters of Filmland, and more.
His EC comics in particular will really stand out. And, of course, without Will Elder and Harvey Kurtzman, and Jack Davis, the Blessed Trinity, you wouldn't have had the Mad Magazine. They were the main people who really set up the situation for Mad.
So Time Magazine loved his covers because they could combine humour with political issues and famous stars of the time. This is, Joe Namath and Brother, Can You Spare $4 billion? Who's that? That's Mayor Byrne.
Okay.
Don't know who he is.
He did a lot of political covers at Time.
Yeah. And a lot of sports stuff.
Yeah.
For baseball cards and football cards. He did that for years, and this got this iconic pencil line that he loved so much. So we'll have a look at that. He did a lot of these beautiful movie posters, which...
It's a mad.
Yeah, it changed. I'll show you that one in a sec. Yeah, but this changed the way movie posters were done.
That's right. He always had like a chase scene going on.
Yeah, always chases.
Yeah.
He also did Two-Fisted Tales and things like that for... he worked for EC. He did the...
Horror.
What was that guy called? The Crypt Keeper? Or Crypt Keeper?
Well, that's the Crypt Keeper there.
Yeah. And this, when I was growing up, I'll have a closer look at this. This is Frankenstein, right? And it was in the back pages of all the comics and Famous Monsters of Filmland, etc. You can get a giant life-size Frankenstein pin-up over 6 feet tall, drawn by Jack Davis for only $2. Cheap at half the price.
That'd be worth a bit now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I don't even know if this is... I don't think this is even in colour. I think it was a black and white.
No, it was green.
Was it? Green?
Yeah. And I think when Jack Kirby first drew the Hulk...
Yeah.
Stanley says, no, draw him green.
Brownie points where where you think Frankenstein with this get-up is from. The Frankenstein monster.
Oh, you mean the fur?
Yeah. Where did he wear fur?
The second film?
No. The fourth or fifth film.
Oh, well, after The Bride, I didn't bother after The Bride of Frankenstein. That was too good.
So these are from TV Guide.
Yeah.
These are collector's items. They were absolutely brilliant. They couldn't get enough of Jack Davis. They tried to get him to do every single cover. Certainly all of the, the yearbooks or something.
When the film,
Year in Review.
The Russians are coming, I walked past our local picture theatre for about 2 hours to summon up the guts to go and pinch one of the posters. And I was so scared doing it that I tore half the bloody corner off, but I had it for a long, long time. I was so proud. Mind you, I went to confession, of course, The priest told me to give it back.
Oh,
but,
what a spoil sport.
But I said...
No, think better of it. So he would fill these posters with these little background
with all
vignettes of action.
Gags, all sorts of stuff.
Tons and tons of gags. I mean, probably none of this is in the film, but he just piled it in there to create a beautiful poster.
Yeah.
This is Petticoat Junction. So every new show, it was part of a mark of respect, or it was a tilt of the hat from the TV Guide. If they could get onto the cover by Jack Davis, it really made their show work.
Yes.
There's Laugh-In, of course, and you can see all of the characters.
That's very early Laugh-In because they got...
Rowan and Martin.
Yeah, but look at their hair, the colour of their hair. That's early. Oh, well, they went great.
This was in the 70s.
Pretty early.
No, 60s.
I remember her. What was her name?
68.
She was always bashing people with a bag. Had the hairnet.
Yeah, I forget. There's probably Goldie Hawn.
Yes.
No, there's Goldie Hawn because she had body paint. She had paint. She's gorgeous in that show. There's... I don't know his name. Harvey, maybe?
It's the same guy over there.
That's great.
Same guy there.
Yeah. That was such great. Was such a great show. Bob Hope, TV Guide, looks back on his 30 years with Oscar.
Look at the shoes.
Hosted the Oscars.
No one does shoes like.
Yeah, look at that.
Everybody copied him.
Yeah.
Everybody copied him after a while, especially in Mad Magazine.
They look more shoes than shoes. They're kind of like caricatured bum shoes. I think they're really, really cool. This is a more recent one, I think.
Yeah.
And whereas I think it's just watercolour. So he was very adept at all of these different mediums. It's Groucho Marx from his more of his TV Guide work, and this is one of his later pieces. I think this is in 2000. So he died in 2016. So he was working right up till the end, and a master of this technique. Really poured his heart and soul into this stuff. Kelly's Heroes. This sort of a comedy action hero.
This is some of his inking style.
Yeah, some of his tighter inking style in the beginning.
Very sharp and...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very confident.
He was good.
But really came to the fore with his looser style. All right, so let's get on to the man himself. Some pictures. This is him. Let's go back a little bit more.
Now you've missed...
Yeah. So this is him towards the end.
He was in his 90s,
Yeah. This was 2015. So he was lecturing. So he went to Tokyo to lecture, I think, in 2015. This, of course, is the poster to end all posters. This is the they shouldn't. That's a spoiler, actually, to do that.
Yes.
But people love this poster. It was so cool. There's two versions of this. There's one that's horizontal.
Yes.
And there's one that's vertical. And this horizontal one, someone bought the record, broke it open, and was showing you the full poster. So, look at all this stuff in the background.
Oh, this is the record cover, but it's broken open. Okay,
so there's a pickup truck from the film. I only saw this again last night.
Yeah.
There's the Jonathan Winter's truck, and there's the police chief. There's the girlfriend of the son. There's Phil Silvers. There's
two Phil
who was
Silvers.
that? Phil Silvers. Two Phil Silvers.
No, that's Don Knotts.
No, that's Don Knotts.
Don Knotts, yeah. And that's
Or is it? No,
Terry
no, that's
Thomas.
not Don
That's
Knotts.
Terry Thomas.
That's the other guy. Don Knotts is. He'll be later on in the story. Sid Caesar,
There's no people like show people.
Mickey Rooney, and him.
And him, yeah, him. I remember him.
The
yeah.
guy with the marbles in his mouth.
Anyway, we're
Merman,
going
yeah.
down memory lane. We should be drawing.
Awesome. That's a quick. He used to get these fan letters, and this is one of his answers back to a fan. This is self-caricature.
Yeah,
Bob Salter, thanks for your letter. You have no taste. So you must have laid platitudes onto Jack. So brilliant stuff. Really,
The thing about
iconic.
his horror stuff, they were
he's a
terrific, but they
beautiful man.
weren't that scary. They were just wonderful drawings.
Yeah.
Whereas other people do really crude drawings, and I was scared. But
Yeah.
I wasn't scared by his drawings, but they were dramatic and
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going to use an out of focus photo.
I am.
Okay.
Why is that an issue?
I'm impressed with you.
Well, I'll just draw it out of focus.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
So just sharpen some
how do
pencils.
you-
We've got a brown pencil.
No, hang on. You
Got several white
can't
pencils.
have sharp pencils if you're going to draw an out of focus caricature. You have to have blunt ones, surely.
You put the kibosh on all of this
It just broke.
stuff. This is the white. This is the bane of my life. Look at that. These Prismacolors are beautiful, but they're
Soft.
So we have to be very, very careful, and it won't give me a point. It won't. It just won't do it.
And let's pray that
Sharpener.
the cameras don't collapse on us while we're filming.
Yeah. No, we're not getting it.
It's been dropped too many times, you think?
Yeah. I just don't think we're going to get one. It's just something wrong with. They're just too soft. We might be able to use the polychroma, which is a bit harder. But we'll see how we go. We're using a polychromo black, which is one of these. So they're a little bit harder. So we might we'll do a three-dimensional drawing of a caricature of Jack Davis with a brown pencil and white and black pencil. So here we go. We've got a bit of perspective to consider, and how are we going to light this? It's got fairly even lighting in the reference, so which gives us an opportunity. He's actually got a beautiful.
He's getting reflection.
Pear-shaped
He's getting reflection
head.
off his picture, isn't he?
Yeah, so
He's drawing.
I've gone with this pear-shaped head, and we've got big glasses this time because he actually uses oversized glasses. And we're going to try to do a shadow which is favoured down in towards the centre of the object itself, right? And there's a bit of reflected light that bounces back on the right. Again, the area of focus is the T-zone or the mask zone, the mask area of the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. So the relationship between these elements are the most important thing in getting a likeness, whether it be a portrait or whether it be a cartoon or a caricature. It's something that you have to constantly keep aware of when you're drawing. So look for, what are you doing?
Just straightening it. Just straightening it. It's straightening it. Yep.
Yeah, be very careful because I've sort of pre-straightened. Might be crooked. All right, so let's continue on, shall we? So what else about Jack Davis? Of course, I came to know Jack Davis in Mad Magazine, and there's some beautiful cartoons and he had no qualms about drawing caricatured, lightly caricatured, but mostly cartooned celebrities and famous people.
Yeah, he didn't push their faces much at all, did he?
No, because
Their bodies, yes, but not their their heads.
Yeah.
That's probably why he got so many gigs with Time magazine. I remember reading somewhere years ago how Time magazine didn't like certain people because they caricatured. They got too many complaints about their leaders on the covers being caricatured.
Well, it depends. I mean, you can do caricatures and, have them as portraits. And he used to do that.
But they also had a long history, Time magazine had a long history of people drawing, illustrating famous heads.
Yeah.
Actually, most of them were illustrated up until the 60s, I think. That's when photography started really... they used photography, but they started to bring it more in.
Wasn't so much the photography, it was the printing of the photographs that were hard.
Yes.
Because illustration was more of a... he's got bifocals, of course he has. Because illustration had more of a... it was closer to the printing process. A lot of the illustrators learnt a little bit of printing, a little bit of the art of or craft of printmaking, so that they could illustrate something that was easier to reproduce. And it was good for them because their artwork was pristine and was well presented. And it was good for the magazine because they had something of high quality, whereas the photographs, of course, were very low quality. They just couldn't get the reproductions. They were always very crude and either too tonal or too much the other way. They weren't like the craft of the photographer, and the photographers really complained about printing. They would stay away from magazines. So consequently, you had the situation that was like a perfect storm for cartoonists and caricaturists in magazines. And I enjoyed that right up until the 90s. I was at the tail end of that period where artwork and illustrations and caricatures were really in high demand in magazines and newspapers. And that was a lot of fun, because, well, one, you're making, a living at doing what you want to do. And also, it was it was fun to do it. It was like your dream job. It wasn't like going to work 9 to 5 and clocking on and clocking off. And even when I went to the papers, as like not as a permanent but as like a casual, I would go in there like 2 or 3 days a week, and I found it really invigorating and really fun. Because you could see your mentors and heroes and things and friends and colleagues, and everybody had the same issues with, brushes and pens and sharing, what sort of style is that, and also love of the medium itself, love of caricature, love of cartoons. So we'd often have conversations about Jack Davis or, other cartoonists that we've known and loved, and share anecdotes or just concepts about about their style and their, and have you seen this and have you seen that? And
but his stuff was everywhere. Besides record covers and movie posters. He was on greeting cards.
Yep. And
he was on bubblegum cards.
Yep. As I said, this man was probably my greatest inspiration.
And he was in so many magazines like Playboy, Cavalier, Esquire.
Yep.
His stuff, Mad, Warren Publications.
Yeah.
Humbug, Trump. It all just turned up.
Yeah, different Trump. And
different Trump. Yeah.
I was absolutely blown away by his versatility and the fact that, that medium, you could put caricatures on bloody anything, on underwear. You could do anything you wanted with it. And, baseball cards, TV guide covers. I used to do TV guide covers in Australia.
For what publication?
That would be Fairfax.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What you've thrown me off now. I used to do TV guide covers, and I would be channeling him when I was doing it. I would be thinking about Jack Davis when I was doing these covers, you know. So it was really, he was so important in my life, and
he had the frenetic energy of Will Elder, and that's saying something, because Will Elder was everything he did was exploding. We got to do Will Elder. Was exploding, and bending.
Well, Harvey Kurtzman and Will Elder was exploding.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were a great team together.
Yeah.
But this guy, apparently he's one of the fastest guys in the business.
Yeah.
And yet his drawings had, like, he'd do a sketch of a soldier from the Civil War or something.
Yep. And it had a lot of humanity to it, a lot of feeling. But it had all these
lines on it, and yet it was done really quickly.
Yeah.
It's almost like he didn't have any...
Well, like this. So you work out a very simple shape that you like, and then you invest in it. You invest time and energy into that shape.
For such a fast drawing, he had stacks of lines.
Yeah.
In the picture, like lots of his own version of hatching, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, he had like a scribble line. He had a very loose, but very descriptive, and you know, he just loved drawing. He loved drawing so much, you could tell that from every line.
You could tell that.
And this is what inspired me, because, you know, I love drawing because of Jack. No other person, just Jack. Whenever I draw, I think of this man all the time.
Oh, hang on. What about Kirby?
Not when I'm drawing.
Oh, not when you're drawing. Okay.
When I'm punching Dr. Doom, yes. Because then it's clobbering time, isn't it? So look at this beautiful little dimple. He's got this dimple on his top lip. And I've only ever seen this from people hiding it with mustaches. And he didn't have... I don't think he had a mustache.
No.
But I've seen people shave their mustache off, and there's this little dimple right in the top of their...
You're convinced that they grow a mustache just to hide it?
Yeah.
You're convinced?
Because it looks like a baby mouth. It looks like a little baby's mouth, and that will give you a perfect indication to his character. He's a beautiful child. He is a beautiful child.
They had these widescreen cards.
Yes.
That were in bubblegum, and everybody used to collect them at school. But
Scanlon's bubblegum?
Yeah, Scanlon's, I think that's right. And on the back... There were things you could... They were like a narrow version of a...
cinema screen.
No, of a postcard.
Right.
And they had lines where you could write things. I think it had a place where you stick the stamp. Some people actually sent them, but as a postcard. But I noticed that fathers used to knock them off, and they'd be at their desk or in their offices when you go visit your mates' fathers and their work.
Right.
They'd have them stuck around the office, so they were...
like rat fink type of...
No. They were sort of... They all had things, little memes, what we'd call today memes,
right,
on all sorts of subjects. But it's just that they're the only cards that our parents knocked off from our collections, you know.
It's an extraordinary story. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Usually it's the other way around. You go and knock off...
That's right. Let's get into
postcards.
Let's pinch his Playboys. I know where he hides them from Mum. Yeah.
My dad didn't have Playboys. We had a Japanese student who lived with us for years, and he used to get Japanese Playboys. And of course, they're all airbrushed out and got, you know, masks over naughty bits and things. But they were really quality magazine, beautiful paper, and they had American and Japanese.
Japanese
comics.
writing goes, it's vertical, isn't it?
Yeah, both.
And so the front page of the Japanese Playboy's on the back page.
Yes, that's true. Yep.
Ah.
From my memory, yes, I think that was the case. But it doesn't have to be, because they're very used to American magazines. So you know, they can read up and down to up, left to right, right to left. It's they're very good at that. They're extremely well versed in international pop culture. They love pop culture, and of course they loved him. Oh my God, did they love him? He is huge in Japan. I can't tell you how big he was in Japan. he was a giant among men. And
He's up there with Lurch, was he?
yeah, no. I don't know how tall he was, but he was like they loved him so much. You know, the energy and the sheer joy that comes through his pencil lines, his work. It's just magic. It's just he's such a lovely guy.
I was thinking about him the other night.
I wish I was as nice.
So do I.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
What's that hat there, mate?
My hat.
What's the hat there?
So
you're going to have a sore neck tonight. You're going to have a sore neck tonight.
No, I'm all right. I'm not too bad. We've got the light. We've moved the light to a different position, so it's going to be casting a few shadows over the piece. But at least I can see a little bit better where I'm going.
Well, he's got
not as much reflection on the paper.
He's got an incredible stairway to heaven there, hasn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lace work coming up there. It's such a complex. You know, in many ways, his drawing style, his quick visual narrative of line work, you know, is complemented by this. Look at how busy that is. You know, his head. So that line work comes right from his personality. There it is, in evidence. So, yeah, great guy. I wish I had, when I was a kid, I wish I had the guts to steal movie posters. You know, they would have been great. I wish I had the money or the foresight to buy that bloody Frankenstein poster. One day I'm going to get Anton Emden to do one. I'm going to commission him, give him a lot of money, and get him to do one, because I reckon he's got a good handle on his styles.
Yes,
also
he'd be very good at it.
Very,
but he wouldn't do it in feet.
Energetic.
Wouldn't be 6 feet. It'd be in.
No, you blow it up.
It'd be in centimetres for sure.
Yeah. The bad news about working digitally is that you tend to make things bigger than they need to be. When you're working on paper, of course, you just work on this, right? And then if you blow it up, you blow it up. That's it. Then the grain gets bigger.
$2
working digitally, you tend to zoom in and
$2 for a 6 foot long poster. That would have been good value, wouldn't it?
It would have been, except that you told me it was green. So,
yeah, it was green.
No, I wanted it in colour. I liked his colours.
Green's not a colour?
No. They could have done it in full colour. Maybe somebody's got.
We've got
one.
Another book on.
Let's eBay him and see.
We've got another book on Jack Davis that's actually in colour. This is not in colour. It's put out by a fan. It's terrible that a fan has to put out a book on him before the proper publishers do.
Yeah, didn't we do a book bite on...
We did, yeah, actually, that's something you can check out. We did a book bite on Jack Davis.
Yep.
So go to...
Australian Cartoon Museum.
Yeah.
On
Toon
YouTube.
Talk, yeah, toontalk.com.
Or the short form is Toontalk, not toontalk.com. You don't even know the name of the channel. Go and have a look on the sign.
What did I say wrong?
It's not .com.
Oh, .dot. Yeah.
No, dot, not DOT. He's going to have a look.
It is.
It's not. Dot is dot. That's just a dot. It's Toontalk dot something else.
Dot show.
Yeah. Toontalk.
DOT.
So
it's not a dot. It's DOT.
Yeah, but you don't. That's only for graphic license, artistic license. It's actually a dot, so you don't have to spell out dot, but you do have to spell out.
It's very hard to spell dot.
So what's the address again?
Toontalk.show.
.show. So instead of .com, swap.com,
Sorry.
show.
Bad boy.
Because why did we do that? I don't know.
It just slipped out.
I don't remember why we called it. I think it was fun.
It was always fun.
Yeah, you didn't want any comms.
We only do stuff here for fun.
So we like that. So, some more Jack Davis scuttlebutt or news or something else. What else about him? He's got bifocals here, so I get a chance to play with this.
With the light.
Fracturing of
Are you going to put
light, which is nice.
French windows in his glasses, or?
Don't know. I think
What
we may
do
have
they call those
give
reflections again? What are they called?
Lucaflex.
Lucaflex, yes.
Which come from?
Flexitown?
No. What's the name of the cartoonist? Wrote a book on it?
Oh, Jerry Robinson.
No.
Not Jerry Robinson. Oh, the bloke who did...
Beetle Bailey.
Beetle Bailey, yeah. Yeah, he put a book out which is very funny and also very frustrating, because he made up all these names for devices that cartoonists have put in their work over the years.
Yeah.
And when you have a reflection of the window bouncing off your bald head, they call that, what, Lux?
Lucaflect.
Lucaflect, yeah. Which I'm pretty sure we could come up with a better name, but...
Yeah, the thing is, you don't really need names. You just...
No.
It's just an effect. You just call it a reflection.
But
it was interesting.
It has to be curved. It has to be curved. It can't be a straight reflection like an ordinary 4-pane window. It has to be curved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you say?
Well, the best guys did it that way, so that's, you know.
So he's got a lot of little lines which purse the lips here. So there's not a lot of talking in his world. There's a lot of thinking in his world and a lot of analysis in his world, but not a lot of thinking, not a lot of talking. So he spent a lot of time at his desk.
Yeah, a lot of those
drawing.
Guys who were so funny with their artwork,
and you really enjoyed it, because these are like smile lines, aren't
they
they?
live long lives. I think, you know,
yeah.
If you can sit there and laugh at your own drawings while you're drawing them, it's helping you for longevity.
Yeah, so laugh and the world laughs with you. Cry and you're crying on your own. Or something like that. So, I'm just trying to get the shape of the chin here. So there's a few of elements that I'm pushing, you know, stylizing, using a sort of a stylized approach to the process here, just to get my handle on a different place to place the details. I'm really getting very excited about the finishing this now. I'm enjoying this, but I want to try and do the right thing by Mr. Davis.
I've got a lot of EC comics that are a reprint, and they're in black and white, so you can see the work, the actual penmanship much better.
How do you get reprints from their like
somebody called Russ Manning or somebody published the whole EC catalogue in hard covers, but all but all black and white.
Very expensive.
All black and white artwork in them, except they had colour posters that came with it.
Right.
And
so you get some of the Wally Wood posters.
You had the covers of the comics were in colour.
Yeah.
But the actual inside work was all in black and white.
Were they black and white in the originals?
No.
They were colour.
Always colour, yeah.
So they had that sort of garish 1950s.
Yes, and of course, because someone like Jack Davis put the lines so close together with his cross-hatching and all that sort of stuff, the colour sort of muddied it. So we were lucky because we could look at the black and white. You know?
He was a brilliant colourist too. His watercolours, you could see from the movie posters.
But the comics, the original EC comics, actually, they were virtually hounded. The whole comic industry was changed because of EC comics, but we won't go into that. That was during a bad period in America. That's the McCarthy period.
It wasn't the McCarthy period, it was something else, but the Seduction of the Innocent, which was...
Yes, the book that came out that says that comics rot your brains and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And no good for your kids. And all the mothers in America went out and burned and threw away kids' comics. They come over from school and all the comics are gone. But I was lucky because my mum used to read comics. She used to buy them for me. So she never threw my comics out. I was one of the few kids who didn't get their comics chucked out.
Well, we didn't have that. We didn't have that witch hunt here.
No.
We never enjoyed that.
No.
I did a caricature of him. It's on the front of the video, the opener video for the ACM toontalk.show. And the guy that did that book, Seduction of the Innocent.
Is he on that page?
He is, yeah. He says...
I don't know what he looks like.
Well, he's the guy that's... Yes, you do know what he looks like, because I did a caricature of him.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what
he's saying... what do you think of comics, Dave?
Oh, that's him?
That's him.
Okay.
Yeah.
He, after he did that book and caused all that mayhem, he started to collect...
Comics.
He started to collect comics, and he also started collecting fanzines put out by comic fans.
Yeah.
And he ended up with one of the biggest collections of fanzines in history.
Yep.
And I don't think he always meant to write a book about fanzines, but I don't think he lived long enough.
No, there's stories of him sort of saying he's sorry that he said all those bad things about comics, and they're not that bad.
But I mean, he didn't expect people to go out and burn them. Like when John Lennon said that thing about how
he did make a very sensationalist video.
Yes,
like the documentary, he really played that up. You know, that's where the video is from of him.
Careful.
Let's get some white. No. Let's get some of that. No. Let's get some of that.
Okay,
some Posca markers. So we've got some Posca markers here we're going to play with, and we're going to create some sparkle. A little sparkle in his eye, like he's a little leprechaun. To be sure. How's that? It's very...
Yes, so...
Are you offended?
It does...
Does it offend your...
It does boggle the imagination how he was such a fast worker, and yet he has all those lines in his drawings, It's almost like there's...
He had jobs on. He had a lot of jobs.
Yeah. So I remember...
Man on a mission.
I remember some of his lines went outside the contours of the face and stuff, but I liked it.
Yeah, they had a looseness about it. The thing about when you draw and paint in a loose fashion like that, you actually invite other artists to check it out, and they sort of deconstruct it. That's how I learned to paint, from looking at Frazetta, because Frazetta had this marvellous ability to not... Because they were paperback covers, essentially, to do paintings for, in the fantastic art of Frazetta. The only time you'd actually see them in their total, without the text, would be in the coffee table book that came out, Fantastic Art of Frazetta, which I just said. And he didn't finish the background, so they were unfinished. So
that came in the 70s, didn't it? It came in the 70s.
Early 70s. So the painting had a very... it was almost like a painter's X-ray.
Yeah, so I remember they came out in a Source bookshop in the 70s. It's the first time I ever saw them.
The what? The Source?
Source bookshop was an American bookshop. It was an Australian bookshop that they changed the laws because the British...
Is this a Melbourne thing?
Yeah, no, the British had a stranglehold over publishing in Australia, and there's a lot of stuff that we couldn't get from America, and then they changed the rules. I think Whitlam or someone changed the rules in the 70s, and suddenly we got, like for instance, if you wanted to read Herman Hesse, there was about 2 books available, and they came through the British publisher, but suddenly you could get every book that Herman Hesse ever... I think he wrote about 22 books. You could get all the Herman Hesse books, and I saw his stuff and other people's work in Source bookshop that I'd never seen anywhere else in any other art shop or bookshop,
I had no idea.
I mean, you could see Frechetta's stuff on book covers and things like that, but you couldn't see it at that book. That's where I first saw it, the fantastic... So... And that other book that we did a film about, the 3 blokes, shared the studio, that was an American publication that came
Jeffrey
out.
Jones, Barry Wrightson, and Michael Kaluta, and
Barry
Windsor Smith.
That was only available in certain bookshops, and that because it was fully imported,
Yeah. interesting book. By the time it came out, of course, they were no longer together in the studio.
Yes.
But it documented probably about, I think, a 6-month period or maybe a year of cohabitation.
So, especially if you're into comics and you didn't know much about art, you only knew about comic art, those books were incredible because they really took it to the top of the pile of art in comics. You know?
Yeah.
And they opened up a lot of avenues for people to move from comic art to other art forms.
Yeah, well, I would see movies based on Jack's posters. So if I'd known Jack had done a poster, like The Busybody... No, he didn't do The Busybody, that's Frazetta. But Frazetta's movie posters were heavily influenced by Jack Davis. So, you know, Mad, 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 Mad World, for example. I saw that film because of that.
He did The Party too, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
I remember that one.
So I would have seen that because of Jack.
Yes. The trouble is...
we were very unlucky. We never got his beautiful TV guides. I wish we did.
The trouble is they didn't use his ads much in the newspaper because there was so much detail in them. They come out all muddy, so they hardly used them. They'd crop them, or they wouldn't use it. They'd just have the title.
Right.
Or, and they have alternative things. They have photos and things like that. They'd use a photo with the same heading.
Yeah.
So when you actually saw his posters, wow, they were wow, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I had to have that poster. It was just...
Well,
I've never seen anything like it, you know?
Yeah, well, like a similar situation with American Sunday comics, because our Sunday comics were black and white. American Sunday comics were colour.
Yes.
We did get colour comics in the 40s when there was a paper shortage. We got American comics.
But sometimes we got... The only colour was yellow. Or they'd have red.
Khaki.
Yeah, or khaki, yeah. Or blue, completely blue. They were and most of them were out of register.
Yeah, they had that problem as well.
Yeah.
But the American comics that we had in the 40s, apparently, I didn't know about till, you know, I was ripping up lino one day with my father, and he said, "Have a look at this." I said, "What's that?" Brenda Starr, Dick Tracy. I said, "What the hell are these?" You know, full colour. Prince Valiant.
Yeah.
But full colour, not
Yeah.
khaki colour, not khaki.
Yeah.
Like in Australia.
Yeah.
But crappy colour.
But we also got a lot of reprints, which was just a black and white, which I always say that it helped us appreciate the art better, because you didn't have those terrible colours, you know.
Well, we didn't get reprints in Sydney, so I think this is a Melbourne thing. You only have the
Well,
reprints
I don't know.
here.
We'll have to get an expert in here to talk about it, but most of the comics I grew up with were all black and white, except the covers were colour.
Yeah, but I've seen them in ephemera markets.
Yeah.
You get actually
All the
Marvel comics in black and white.
And the DC were all. We got more DC than Marvel stuff actually in Australia.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Superman dominated.
I never knew that. I think one of the reasons why
Superman was actually read by girls. Girls used to read Superman because
I didn't know that.
Superman and the Phantom and Archie comics were read by girls.
I did like Archie comics. My sister bought Archie comics. I quite liked that.
Yeah, I only liked.
She had Little Lotta and Casper and Wendy and all that sort of thing.
That was terrible stuff.
I liked it. It was good.
I liked Jughead. That's about it.
Jughead, yeah.
You had a square nose. So did the school principal, Mr. Abernathy. Is it Abernathy?
Weatherby,
yeah, that's right. Abernathy, somebody else here.
Mr. Abernathy. I don't know. Is that?
I think he's a comic strip character.
Is he?
Yeah.
Right.
Getting mixed up here.
Yes, you are. All right, let's try and soften some of this effect here. We've got...
It's a pity you can't put some of his big shoes in the picture, but...
Well, they'd be eating his... sticking in his mouth.
He's so good that...
Foot in the mouth.
Yeah, well, I think he's done that drawing before of himself.
See how soft this is? breaking, crumbling to little crumbs.
I'm crumbling, crumbling, crumbling.
What's that from?
It's melting. I'm melting, Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
We're determined to cram as many
Pop culture
references
as you can.
And devices into this show as much as possible. Yeah.
Right.
I don't think you've drawn Frank Frechetta, have you?
Yeah, I have.
When? Because that book that you
about 60 videos ago.
Oh, okay. It's not in the book anyway.
What book?
The book that the first book. This is book 2, folks.
It's in this book.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll show you after this.
Okay.
Let me just get a handle on this. So, he was so inspirational to me personally. The fact that you could see his work on baseball cards and greeting cards. Yeah. My God, you go anywhere, you go to a newsagent.
Yes.
As a kid or a toy shop, yeah. And it's like a Jack Davis love fest.
He was like Chicken Man. He was everywhere.
Chicken Man.
Yeah, it was a radio program.
Okay. Radio.
You don't remember that show at all?
No. I remember the Argonauts.
Bark, 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 bark. Chicken Man. He's everywhere. He's everywhere.
I remember the cartoon show of Chicken Man.
Yeah, well, that's different. It's a radio program.
Well, I didn't know that. I just sort of look. If it had radio with pictures, then it would have been.
Yeah, it's called television.
Watching. Yeah. So
I like what you've done with the bifocals.
Yeah.
Nice little effect
cute.
there.
Very cute. It's got these little tight little muscles
You've
around here.
You've given him sort of sad sort of eyes.
Have I?
Yeah, sort of.
Oh, well. I'm only putting down there what impression I get.
Out of focus, yeah. Look, the fact that you're using an out of focus picture for a source material puts you head and shoulders above a lot of people, mate.
So let's get some volume in here with the white pencil. See how beautiful this is. It's a shame it's so soft. If it was a little bit harder, it would be fun to work with. Unfortunately, it's a issue. It's a problem. So we might have to. Let's try to. This is also it's an Albrecht Dürer. This is also quite soft. We might use that. It's a bit in between. It's a bit harder. Problem with this is it's just a huge pencil. It's a big fat pencil. So because it's fat, you need one of these babies. So the little metal things won't work. Let's get some black in here and see what we can do with the contrast. We're going to use this as a Zig. It's a black brush pen. So black brush pens are cool, aren't they? They can do this. They can fine point and then press and give it thicker effect. So we use that for strengthening contours. We want to stand out a little bit more, a little bit. Little black areas, little areas of contrast we need to just kick up a little bit, make it a bit more contrasty, kind of cool. It's nice. I like this. I'm gonna break
You're because you deal with the drawing and also the reproduction of the film.
The reproduction.
How much do you think any is lost? Because when I look at it on Facebook, I miss out on so much of a lot of this detail. There's wonderful little detail I'm standing next to you looking at it.
Well, you can watch it on YouTube.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying, is there any? It seems like that there's I don't know, you're missing 10% of the quality of the original on YouTube.
Yeah, because it's a smaller screen. Can't help that. What do you know? Unless we, it's actually, I think it's 4K, or 2K, the video on Facebook. So you might be able to watch it on TV. Some TVs have a Facebook connection. It's not generally known. It's not like a pleasant experience because it is a vertical video. You're watching it on a horizontal format.
Yeah, it's.
You know, so
It's like you're looking for a keyhole or something, isn't it?
well, yeah, but you know, there you go.
Shot in Hitchcock scope.
I like the different formats. I think they're good. You know, vertical format, horizontal format. It keeps you on your toes.
Not much shade in that picture, is there? The source material.
No, it's beautifully lit. It's very evenly lit. So we've got a line here to play with, and what we're going to do is I've lost a little bit over there, so I'm going to put that back. And I'm going to get the black Posca out. This little baby, look how thick that is. Now that's not been activated. We'll get the other one that's activated. Look at that. You see, and it's like a big chunky texture.
Oh, you mean, okay. When you say not activated, it hasn't come through. Because the...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought it just was white.
No.
And you got the lids mixed up.
Yeah, I bought a couple of versions so I don't run out. I like this. I'm going to keep away from the contour that I've established, the thick and thin line.
Because if you actually go right to the line, it's sort of...
You lose its thickness.
Yes.
It's no longer
and
thick
it sort
and
of
thin,
drains into the black, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Drains into the black. You don't want that.
This dries quite quick.
Yeah.
Wish I had this when I was at the bloody papers. I tell you what,
Well, I had
waiting for that bloody
what, didn't you have
Indian
hair
ink.
Didn't you have hair dryers?
No.
Is this pre-hair dryer?
Some of the one of the illustrators had a hairdryer. He used Indian ink as well. Guy sitting behind me,
Who was that?
Nicholson.
Peter Nicholson?
Yeah, from the Australian Telegraph.
Ah, well, he lives in Melbourne, that's all.
Oh no, must be different Nicholson. I'm not very good with names. But
Peter
anyway.
Nicholson did work for the Australian. I mean, sometimes he went to Sydney, I know that, but because Melbourne had an office, I think he used to go there, mostly. I don't know any other cartoonists called... What, was he doing cartoon work or what?
Yeah.
Another Nicholson. Oh.
Anyway, what I was going to say was he had a hairdryer and he used to use it on his illustrations, but because we finished usually at the same time.
Well, I remember your early stuff.
I couldn't get a hand. I couldn't
You had a
borrow
lot
his,
of black backgrounds.
Yeah, I couldn't borrow his hairdryer. So what I was going to say was, when you're using Indian ink, you brush it in. You use a brush, and you cut in like this, but it doesn't dry flat. It has a sort of a patina. It's got like a gloss to it, a metallic sheen.
Yes.
When it pools,
Yes.
And there's nothing you can do about that, and it's so annoying. And I hated it with all my heart. It was a horrible thing to work with. I wish I had these.
Why is it called Indian ink? I
have no idea. You'll have to...
You can still get it, can't you?
Yeah, you can still buy it.
It's not that easy to get, but I think anymore.
Yeah, it is. Of course it is. You can get it from the art shop.
Well, I remember cartoonists I know used to buy big bottles of the stuff.
Yeah, because you go through a lot.
Yeah.
This is Jack Davis. No, this is Frantz Kantor, but this is Jack Davis. I wonder if I should paint in that. I might just paint in those glasses. What do you think? See if I can
put some more.
Make it, because it's supposed to be glasses.
Yeah.
I'm using the Zig.
Unless he was wearing those joke glasses, you know.
Not getting paid for this. Come on, Zig, come up with cough up some brushes.
Do you talk to your pens much?
Yep. I did with the Indian ink, and they didn't like it. This is Jack Davis, and this is Jack Davis. This is the
before and after. Before, out of focus, Jack.
Beautiful, beautiful man.
And there's Jack Davis.
Such an incredible talent. We're so lucky on this planet to have Jack Davis in our minds and in our faces. In all forms, whether it be TV guides or Mad Magazine or movie posters or whatever. This is Frantz Kantor, and I'm here with
Jim Bridges.
And we'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Jack.